Hello Golden State Warriors fans, we are here once again to bring you the latest news related to our team, and I would like to emphasize how committed we are to improving our performance to achieve great results. Before we dive into this intriguing news, I kindly request you to show your support by clicking the like button, and if you are not yet subscribed to our channel, I invite you all to join us on an exciting journey. Remember to turn on notifications so you don't miss anything.
Steve Kerr opens up about Jonathan Kuminga's recent DNPs. To be totally honest, for years, the Golden State Warriors have invested in developing Jonathan Kuminga as the heir apparent to their aging core. Fans had high hopes that this would be the season he'd finally break out. But lately, that plan seems to be on pause. Kuminga has been benched in back-to-back games, and it hasn't gone unnoticed. While the arrival of Jimmy Butler has naturally shifted the rotation, Kuminga's own inconsistency on the court hasn't helped his case. In the lead-up to the Warriors' first-round playoff matchup against the Houston Rockets, head coach Steve Kerr addressed the elephant in the room: whether Kuminga will get any playoff minutes. To be totally honest, I have to go with what's working, Kerr said. I've got to look at which lineups are clicking, who's meshing well out there. And right now, the Jimmy-Kuminga combo just hasn't been effective. That's the tough reality. Kerr was candid about his reasoning. I'm playing Jimmy 40 minutes a night because, quite frankly, he's one of the best players in the league. There's a reason we made it this far as the 7th seed, and Jimmy's a huge part of that. My job is to put us in the best position to win. That's why I'm sticking with the rotations I believe give us that chance. Translation? As long as the current lineup is delivering results, Kuminga's role may remain on hold. What's next for Kuminga? At just 22, Kuminga already has an NBA championship under his belt. But despite his potential, it's beginning to feel like his future with the Warriors might not be long-term. Veteran teammates have reportedly tried to lift his spirits behind the scenes, while even NBA analyst Kendrick Perkins publicly urged Kerr to set his pride aside and give the young forward another shot. Still, the final call belongs to Kerr, and for now, his recent comments paint a clear picture. Kuminga might be watching more playoff action from the bench than the floor. A storm brews among Warriors fans. Kuminga's absence hasn't just sparked questions within the organization, it's ignited a firestorm among fans and media alike. Social media has been buzzing with frustration. Warriors Twitter has been especially vocal, questioning why one of the team's most explosive young talents has been reduced to a spectator when the team desperately needs energy and athleticism off the bench. It just doesn't make sense, one fan tweeted. You don't develop a guy for 3 years just to bench him when the lights are brightest. NBA analysts have also weighed in. On NBA Today, Kendrick Perkins didn't mince words. You don't keep a talent like Kuminga on the bench in the playoffs. He brings something you can't teach: length, athleticism, and effort. And if you can't make that work as a coach, that's on you. Even former Warriors players have chimed in, with some hinting that Kerr's loyalty to veteran-heavy rotations could be holding the team back from evolving. While Kerr's resume gives him the benefit of the doubt, there's no denying the noise growing around this decision. Behind the scenes, what's happening with Kuminga? According to reports from insiders like Shams Charania and Anthony Slater, Kuminga has kept a professional attitude despite his reduced role, but it hasn't been easy. Sources within the Warriors organization suggest that veterans like Draymond Green and Steph Curry have taken extra steps to support him emotionally and mentally during this frustrating stretch. JK's been working harder than ever in practice, one team source noted. He's staying ready. But he's human. It's tough watching from the sidelines, especially when you know you can help. Privately, some around the league believe this situation could lead to bigger questions in the offseason. If Golden State doesn't find a clear role for Kuminga soon, rival teams are expected to inquire about his availability. And the truth is, there would be no shortage of suitors. Is there still hope for a Kuminga comeback? While Kerr hasn't ruled out giving Kuminga minutes, his tone suggests any change would be situational at best. Things can always shift, Kerr said. If matchups demand it, or if someone's not delivering, we'll make adjustments. That's part of playoff basketball. That leaves a small window for Kuminga to re-enter the fold, but it's shrinking with every game. And with the Warriors in a do-or-die playoff scenario, Kerr seems unlikely to gamble on what he sees as an uncertain fit. Still, stranger things have happened in the postseason. One injury, one bad quarter, one spark from the bench. That's all it could take for Kuminga to get his shot. And if he does, no one doubts that the 22-year-old is capable of making an impact. For now though, the message from Kerr is clear: Winning comes first, and rotations will reflect that, no matter how tough the call may be. Draymond Green lost Kendrick Perkins' DPOY vote after 2 games. Here's why that was a turning point. For most of the 2024-25 NBA season, it looked like San Antonio Spurs phenom Victor Wembanyama was on track to take home the Defensive Player of the Year award. His dominance on that end of the floor was undeniable, until a season-ending injury derailed his campaign. That unfortunate twist opened the door for other contenders like Lou Dort, Evan Mobley, and of course, Draymond Green. At one point, NBA analyst and former player Kendrick Perkins was all in on Draymond's case. A former DPOY himself back in 2016-17, Green had returned to form this season as the heart of the Golden State Warriors defense, showing flashes of the elite stopper he once was during the Warriors' dynasty years. That resurgence was enough to earn Perkins' vocal support. But then something changed. "I switch up like the weather," Perkins admitted. He pointed to 2 specific games that completely flipped his stance. In one game against the Houston Rockets, Sengun was putting in serious work on him, Perkins explained. Then in the final game of the season against the Clippers, I'm watching him go up against Zubac, who by the way, is my pick for most improved, and it just wasn't what I expected from a DPOY candidate. Perk didn't hold back. "When I see Draymond getting posted up and giving up easy buckets down low, I can't just ignore that. If you're the Defensive Player of the Year, you don't let that happen. No excuses. No double teams. Just get the stop." That was the moment Perkins shifted his DPOY vote to OKC Thunder's Lou Dort. But did that mean Draymond was off the radar entirely? Not quite. When it came time to vote, I still had Draymond on my first-team all-defense, Perkins clarified. But DPOY? That went to Lou Dort. Draymond got my second-place vote. Whether that one vote will be the difference-maker in Draymond Green's hopes of capturing his second DPOY remains to be seen. One thing's for sure, the margin is razor-thin, and the drama isn't over just yet. Green responds with classic fire, but is it too late? Following the buzz around Kendrick Perkins' change of heart, the Warriors' locker room didn't stay silent for long. Known for never backing down from criticism, Draymond Green addressed the situation head-on during a post-practice interview. "I've been doing this for over a decade," Green said. "If 2 games can erase everything I've brought to the table this season, the leadership, the reads, the switches, the heart, then maybe folks aren't watching the full picture." And it's hard to argue the man doesn't have a point. This season, Green ranked among the league leaders in defensive win shares and held opponents to one of the lowest field goal percentages in isolation plays. He also helped the Warriors maintain a top 5 defensive rating when he was on the floor, a stat that speaks volumes, especially considering Golden State's inconsistent roster due to injuries. But Perkins' comments sparked more than just a media moment. They stirred a debate among analysts, fans, and even players. NBA Twitter went into overdrive. Some fans supported Perkins' stance, pointing out that defensive greatness is about consistency, especially in big moments. Others felt Perkins was being reactionary, letting 2 off nights cloud an entire season of elite performance. Even fellow analysts chimed in. J.J. Redick defended Green, saying, "The guy quarterbacked a defense that had no business being top tier. That's not just effort, that's genius." Meanwhile, Lou Dort, the new frontrunner thanks to Perkins' endorsement, has remained humble amid the attention. "Draymond's a legend on defense," Dort said in a recent interview. "Just being in the same conversation as him means a lot to me." But behind the scenes, there's a quiet tension. League insiders report that Green has taken the snub personally and is using it as fuel heading into what could be a defining playoff run for the Warriors. With the team clawing for positioning in the crowded Western Conference, Green's fire may prove more valuable than ever. What's next? The DPOY votes are being tallied, and with names like Bam Adebayo, Evan Mobley, and Brook Lopez also in the mix, this year's race is one of the tightest in recent memory. Draymond Green may have lost Perkins' vote, but he hasn't lost his edge. And if there's one thing NBA fans know by now, it's this: you count Draymond Green out at your own risk. Magic Johnson predicts X Factor will decide Game 7 between Warriors and Rockets. The first-round playoff battle between the Golden State Warriors and Houston Rockets has left fans and analysts alike torn on who will punch their ticket to the Western Conference semifinals. And now, NBA legend Magic Johnson has weighed in, with a bold prediction hinging on one major factor for Golden State. In a passionate post on social media, Magic didn't hold back, If the Warriors want to survive what could be a grueling 7-game series against Houston's young, athletic squad, they desperately need a consistent third scoring option behind Stephen Curry and Jimmy Butler. Golden State has Steph Curry, an all-time great and the best shooter in NBA history, and they've added a playoff warrior in Jimmy Butler. But who else is going to show up for them in this series? Magic asked on his X, formerly Twitter account. Magic puts pressure on Warriors supporting cast. Magic pointed fingers directly at the players he believes must rise to the occasion, citing Brandon Podziemski and Jonathan Kuminga as potential difference-makers. I saw Podziemski drop 28 points against my Lakers. If Kuminga ends up being the X-factor, then I'm picking the Warriors in 7. It's a bold statement, but not without reason. Despite being the Warriors' third and fourth leading scorers during the regular season, Podziemski and Kuminga have struggled under pressure. In their must-win play-in game against Memphis, Podziemski managed just 3 points, and Kuminga didn't even touch the floor. Likewise, in a critical overtime loss to the Clippers to end the regular season, only Curry and Butler scored more than 20 points. The rest of the roster disappeared when it mattered most. Athleticism advantage? Magic sounds the alarm. Beyond the Warriors' inconsistent bench, Magic also pointed to another problem Golden State can't ignore: Houston's athletic edge. The Rockets are younger, quicker, and more athletic than Golden State. Draymond Green, Klay Thompson, Alperen Sengun, these guys can fly. And don't forget Fred VanVleet. He's a champion and battle-tested in the playoffs, Magic warned. That blend of youth, length, and speed could spell disaster for a Warriors team that thrives on rhythm, ball movement, and pace. If Houston's physical defenders can disrupt that flow, especially by putting pressure on Curry and Butler, Golden State's fate could rest entirely on a third option stepping up. And so far, that third option hasn't shown up consistently. Can Steve Kerr find the answer? The spotlight now shifts to head coach Steve Kerr, who faces one of the toughest tactical challenges of his playoff career. Can he unlock Kuminga? Can he empower Podziemski to step up? Will someone unexpected emerge from the bench when the season is on the line? This Game 7 could come down to just one spark, one unexpected performance that tips the scale. And if that X-factor finally shows up, Magic Johnson believes the Warriors will survive. But if not, the Rockets' momentum, youth, and hunger could carry them straight into the second round, and send Golden State home far earlier than anyone expected. The weight of expectation and legacy. What makes Magic Johnson's comments so impactful isn't just what he said, it's who he is. When a Hall of Famer and 5-time champion raises concerns about your team's depth and effort, the entire basketball world listens. And with the Warriors dynasty showing signs of wear, the pressure to deliver has never been higher. For Steph Curry, a loss in Game 7 wouldn't just be another playoff exit. It would raise serious questions about whether the Warriors' era of dominance has finally reached its end. For Jimmy Butler, who joined Golden State in hopes of chasing a ring alongside Curry, a first-round departure could trigger an off-season of uncomfortable conversations. And for the Warriors' front office, already under fire for aging roster pieces and questionable bench rotations, failing to advance would validate the criticisms that the team has become too reliant on its stars, and too slow to adapt. Inside the numbers, where the Warriors are falling short. Statistically, Magic's concerns are hard to ignore. In the 6 games of this series, Curry and Butler have combined for over 60% of Golden State's total offensive output. Meanwhile, the rest of the roster has averaged just 38.2 points per game combined, well below the playoff average for a contending team's supporting cast. Worse yet, Golden State's bench has a net rating of -12.4 in the series, often allowing Houston to claw back into games whenever the stars sit. The once feared strength in numbers Warriors now look top-heavy and thin. And then there's the defense. With the athletic Rockets pushing the pace and attacking the paint, Golden State has allowed 54 points in the paint per game, their highest in a playoff series since 2014. The absence of rim protection and perimeter foot speed has become a glaring issue, especially against players like Draymond Green and Klay Thompson, who thrive in transition. Around the league, mixed reactions and playoff implications. Magic's candid assessment triggered a wave of reactions throughout the league. Charles Barkley, never one to hold back, echoed the sentiment on Inside the NBA. Golden State ain't got the juice anymore unless somebody steps up. You can't win in this league with just 2 guys doing all the work. Kendrick Perkins, on ESPN, took it even further. If the Warriors go out in the first round, this team's getting blown up. You can't keep running it back with false hope. But not everyone agrees. Warriors veterans like Draymond Green and Klay Thompson, who's been coming off the bench, reportedly took offense to the idea that the team doesn't have enough left in the tank. People been doubting us since 2015. Let him talk, Green told reporters after practice. We know who we are, and we've been here before. Game 7, do or die. All eyes now turn to Chase Center, where Game 7 promises to be one of the most high-stakes playoff games in recent Warriors history. For the Rockets, a win would solidify their emergence as a serious threat in the West, and validate their young core as ready for prime time. For Golden State, it's about survival, of their title hopes, their legacy, and perhaps even the current roster as we know it. And hovering over all of it? Magic's words, pointed, passionate, and prophetic. If Golden State finds its X-factor, they live to fight another day. If not, the end of an era may come faster than anyone expected. Draymond Green on Jimmy Butler's playoff switch. It's been crazy to watch. Draymond Green has been around long enough to see greatness in many forms. But even with 4 NBA titles under his belt, what he's witnessing from Jimmy Butler in these playoffs has him genuinely amazed. Golden State's mid-season trade for the disgruntled Miami Heat star might go down as the move that saved their 2024-25 season. In the 30 regular season games Butler suited up for, the Warriors went 23-7, a staggering turnaround. But according to Green, Butler was just cruising during that stretch. Because anyone who's followed Jimmy's career knows, playoff Jimmy is a different animal. And now that the postseason is here, that switch has clearly been flipped. It's been crazy watching someone turn it up like that, Green said after Game 6. He keeps saying, man, I'm different in the playoffs. And honestly, he's not lying. The Jimmy effect, changing the game in Golden State. What's even more impressive is how seamlessly Butler has fit into the Warriors system, not just as a scorer, but as a tone setter, a closer, and a leader. In back-to-back matchups against the Clippers and Grizzlies, Butler combined for 68 points, including clutch buckets that helped the Warriors lock up the No. 7 seed in a hyper-competitive Western Conference. He makes the game easier for everyone, Green added. For me, for Steph, for the young guys, he just gets to his spots, takes control, and lets us fall in line. That's what great players do. This isn't new behavior from Butler. Fans saw him carry the Miami Heat to 2 finals appearances in 4 years, often dragging undermanned rosters deep into the postseason. But in Golden State, where he doesn't have to shoulder the entire burden, he's more dangerous than ever. Draymond's still in awe. Even with his own extensive playoff resume, Green admits watching Butler elevate his game has been something special. I mean, I'm used to raising my level in the playoffs. That's how we've won championships, Green said. But seeing somebody else do it like that? Man, it's wild. He's been incredible. And Butler's ability to flip the script at 35 years old? That's the part that has everyone talking. Could this be the year? It's the question that's followed Butler for years. Is this finally the season he gets his ring? He's come close, painfully close, multiple times. But now, surrounded by a more complete roster and sharing the spotlight with Steph Curry and Draymond Green, the conditions might finally be right. Still, it won't be easy. The West is a gauntlet this year, loaded with athletic young teams and battle-tested veterans. But with Butler already hitting playoff form and the Warriors slowly catching their stride, it's hard not to wonder if something special is brewing in the Bay. We've been here before, Green said. But with Jimmy? Man, this just feels different. The locker room impact. He raised the standard overnight. Sources close to the Warriors' locker room say the shift was almost immediate after Butler's arrival. His intensity, his work ethic, and most importantly, his mentality raised the bar the moment he put on a Golden State jersey. Klay Thompson, who's taken on a sixth-man role in this new-look Warriors squad, said Butler's presence changed the team's mindset. He's relentless. You feel it in the huddle, in practice, in the way he talks to the young guys. He's not here to put up numbers. He's here to win. Period. Steve Kerr, too, has praised Butler's veteran presence, calling him the emotional anchor of the team's late-season run. He doesn't just play hard, he sets a tone. When Jimmy's locked in, it's contagious. Jimmy's stats say it all. Since the start of the playoffs, Butler is averaging 34.5 points per game, 6.1 rebounds, 4.8 assists, 1.9 steals. Shooting 51.2% from the field and 38.6% from three. More than the numbers, though, it's when those numbers are coming. Butler has scored double digits in the fourth quarter in 4 of Golden State's last 5 games. He's closing games with the kind of efficiency and calm typically reserved for superstars deep in championship runs. Around the league, fear, respect, and regret? The rest of the NBA is taking notice, and fast. A Western Conference scout reportedly told The Ringer, "I don't know how the league let Golden State get Jimmy for what they gave up. That was highway robbery. If you get this version of Jimmy and pair him with Steph, that's scary." Meanwhile, fans in Miami are still grappling with the trade that sent their franchise cornerstone packing. Although sources say the Heat felt they needed to reset and invest in youth, Butler's immediate success with the Warriors has sparked debate on talk shows and fan forums alike. One Miami-based radio host said it bluntly. The Heat gave up on Jimmy before he gave up on them. And now he might win a ring in Golden State. That one's gonna sting. The road ahead, a test of fire. Golden State's path won't be easy. The Western Conference is as deep and dangerous as ever, with Denver, Minnesota, and OKC all posing major threats. But with Butler now fully integrated and playing at peak form, there's real belief in the Bay. "We've been questioned all year," Green said after the team clinched the 7th seed. "Too old. Not deep enough. The dynasty's over. But we've got Jimmy now, and we're not going anywhere." For Butler, this postseason is more than just another chance. It might be the chance. A chance to finally shake off the almost label. A chance to prove he's more than a grinder, he's a champion. And a chance to lead a storied franchise to one more banner. As Draymond put it, "This guy's built for this." And honestly, I've never been more excited to go to war with someone in my life.